What's going on, everyone? So obviously the San Antonio Spurs have been heavily linked to stars, right? I mean, there have been reports point blank that the San Antonio Spurs want a star to add to Wemby as well as De'Aaron Fox. Talked about it a million times. You don't go trade for a 27, 28-year-old all-star type of point guard to, go through a slow rebuild over the next 5 years, right? As soon as they traded for De'Aaron Fox, that signaled that at least they have the intentions of kind of expediting this a little bit, right? That doesn't mean you make foolish trades. That doesn't mean you just do stuff just to do stuff. Trust the process. You stay the course. You wait for those opportunistic trades, right? Yes, you have to overpay for a spot here and there. There's nothing wrong with that if it makes sense, right? You don't want to overpay just to overpay, but it's like, hey man, this guy is the missing piece, or this guy really expedites it, right? Like there's different scenarios based on circumstance, right? Like the circumstances matter, right? But you right now have heard pretty much since the offseason began, right? I mean, I know we're still in the NBA Finals, but basically from the moment the Spurs season was over, you've heard talks about Giannis Antetokounmpo as well as Kevin Durant, right? Giannis appears to be completely out, right? There's already reports that teams have already accepted that Giannis is basically done. That could always change, right? If you get close to the start of training camp and the Bucks haven't done anything significant to change the team and change the roster and make Giannis feel like, hey, we have a chance here, it's very likely that he could be like, you know what? I gave you a chance. I gave you a shot. You weren't able to get through with it. It's time for me to go. And then, 2 months from now, we could be having the conversation about Giannis being available and the Spurs making a play, right? Now, Kevin Durant, there's still a very good opportunity, very good chance the San Antonio Spurs could lag Kevin Durant. There were reports that there are 3 teams that were like the finalists, but so they said Miami, Minnesota, and Houston. Look, Houston, if they want Kevin Durant, guess what they're going to get? Kevin Durant. Doesn't even matter what the Spurs are willing to offer, right? Why? Because the Houston Rockets have literally all of the Suns' picks. Right? So like we could give you a bunch of young guys and we give you all your picks back. So if Houston wants Kevin Durant, Houston will get Kevin Durant, right? Just how far are they willing to go? And then that's where the kind of debate goes, right? But the Spurs, I still think have a very good chance for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant supposedly prefers the San Antonio Spurs. His camp prefers San Antonio, right? Minnesota looked like there were reports that was the team that he was heading there and they might be close. Now reports are like, hey, no, they are very far apart. It's not happening because it's all just rumor and speculation, right? Everything is just rumor. Like half the time, half the reports don't even make sense and add up, right? Like one person saying one thing, another person saying the other. And it's like they both can't be right. Somebody's wrong here. But my point is like, there will always be that next star, right? I'm all for the Spurs expediting this process if it makes sense, right? If you get a guy that makes sense. Right? But if you miss out on Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo never requests a trade, it's fine. Every few months, there's a star that wants out. Literally, every few months. And the Spurs are primed and have the assets and potential to go get any star in the league, essentially. Name me a guy that becomes available. Guess who can be in the mix of that? The San Antonio Spurs. They are one of the teams that are very well flushed with assets and young players and talent and everything that you need to go get whomever. If Giannis becomes available at the trade deadline, guess who can go get him? The San Antonio Spurs. And it's one of those things, if you build it, they will come, right? Like, so if the Spurs do a good job of rounding out the roster and getting the pieces, and then they are a good basketball team, you don't think that there's going to be somebody that's like, I could ask out, go to the Spurs, I slot in beautifully in that position, that guy can now be my backup, and we'd be the best team in basketball? You don't think that there's a star that would look at it that way? Of course, right? Like, I get to go to Houston, I get to go to San Antonio, right? Texas is what I was getting at. I get to go to, I get to go to the Spurs, no state tax, right? Like, I get that benefit, get to be on a contending team, all of that, right? Like, that's my point, right? Like, it's just like, again, if you build it, they will come, right? Like, Houston and, Minnesota and, Miami and all these other teams that maybe and end up landing Kevin Durant, fine, so be it. Let them go get Kevin Durant. It's fine. If you can get Kevin Durant, go get Kevin Durant. Right? Kevin Durant, I do think would be amazing in the Spurs uniform. I think he'd be fantastic along Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox, and I think he'd do wonders for Victor Wembanyama. Like, genuinely. Like, I think he would do wonders for him. Right? But you're not in a position of desperation, is my point. Right? Like, you don't need to force the issue or put yourself in a position where it's like, man, we shouldn't have done that. And look, there's a very good chance they go get Kevin Durant and they don't win anything. A very good chance that they go get Kevin Durant and they'll be a playoff team. I do think that they can maybe win a couple series, but there's no guarantee that they're winning a championship. It is so hard to win championships in this league. And again, like, Kevin Durant by himself doesn't make the Spurs the best team in basketball. Now, Kevin Durant plus a continue in elevated, improved Victor Wembanyama, a De'Aaron Fox, right, who now is not the number one option where there's questions about him contributing to winning and being the guy. Now he's, second or third option, right? Stephon Castle, what does he look like in year 2? What does Dylan Harper look like as a rookie? And what other pieces can you put around those guys? Right? You need more than 6 guys, right? Like, so if the Spurs can do that, Kevin Durant on the Spurs, I think bare minimum makes them a legit playoff team. Bare minimum, they're probably a top 5 seed at worst, right? But are they a top 5 team in all of basketball? Are they one of the teams that you look at and go, they are winning a championship this year, or they have a very good chance of winning the championship? I don't know. There's a very good chance that, yes, there is, right? I mean, you can even argue that it's more likely that that's the case. Right there with you. But there's also a very good chance that it's not. Like, that they are good, but they're not great, right? Or they're great, but they're not, bona fide contender great. And they're just a very good basketball team that, like, hey, maybe the dominoes fall your way and you're in the NBA finals or conference finals or whatever. Maybe even win an NBA championship. We've seen teams kind of just like, get the right matchups, get the right path. They're in the conference finals. A couple things kind of fall your way. You're in the NBA finals. You get the right matchup in the NBA finals, right? Like, the Western Conference is stacked. And there are so many teams that you could argue to win, right? So, you're going to have this just juggernaut of a run that you're going to have to make. But again, we've seen, like, every year there's a different team in the finals in the West. Every year there's a different team in the conference finals in the West. Right? So, like, it's not Kevin Durant added to this team could do wonders. Giannis, I definitely think, talking Giannis, Wemby, and De'Aaron Fox, yeah. But there's also questions with that and just kind of like the fit. Giannis would be the best player. Is he the best? Is he the number one option? So is Wemby number 2? But De'Aaron Fox has the ball in his hands all game. So is like De'Aaron Fox now the number 2 option and Wemby's now the number 3? Like, is it clunky? How does that work? Right? De'Aaron Fox isn't a great 3-point shooter. Stephon Castle isn't a great 3-point shooter. Not that they can't improve, but Giannis basically doesn't give you anything from 3 outside of, like, on occasion. Right? Wemby can be a streaky 3-point shooter. Right? There's still questions about any of it. My point is that there's nothing that's an absolute lock. But if you do the right things and you go about it in the right way and you trust the process, good things usually tend to happen. If you do what's right, follow down the right path, usually things will work out in the way that you need it to work out. Again, OKC is a great example. There were several times where they could have made a big splash or made a big thing to try to get, but they stayed the course, made the right moves, made the right decisions, right? And you look up and now they're 2 wins away from winning an NBA championship. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.